y'all. It's your favorite therapist for the town, Shell Best, and I'm here with
Big Symba out here in the streets.
come on, and as always, trying to put the melanated in mental health here to talk about a few topics. First episode, test run, of the pod. So yeah, before we get into some things, man, how you doing, bro?
Chilling, man.
Man, we done had a nice little 3-hour run here trying to get it going, you know what I'm saying? But we here. So we're gonna discuss a few things, hip hop, talk a little bit about politics, touch a little bit, on a few things here. That I feel like are not only relevant to the culture, but I feel like also have intersection with mental health. I mean, to be honest with you, let me tell it, I feel like everything
Everything.
has the intersection with mental health. So just kind of want to give perspective to some of the different things that I feel like have that intersection of mental health, current topics, and things that particularly are of interest in our community, basically.
No, that's a fact, bro.
Yeah, definitely. So, on that note, KDot, I know you a big KDot fan.
Oh yeah, bro.
Big KDot stan, if I can say.
Not a stand, but yeah, I don't got the nigga tatted on me or anything like that. Yeah, I'm good.
But nah, true story though. You put me on KDot though.
That's a fact.
And I was like, was that 08?
Yeah.
09.
It was 09. It was the summer of 09.
09? Okay. 09. I remember he was coming out. Was that Section 80?
Hell no.
Nah? What was it?
Bro,
What was he coming out with that album when you put me up on him though?
Oh, when I put you up on it.
Yeah.
That was 12. That was right before 12. It was
No, that was 09, right?
That was Section 80. You talk about two different things.
Okay, so when we went
you talk about two different things.
When put me on.
That was 09 Kendrick Lamar EP, right?
Okay.
That's when I found it, summer of 09. And then we went to the concert probably like 11. That was
okay.
That was right after OD came out.
Yeah.
That's where that was his first time. That was his first time in the Bay at New Parish.
First time headline. He said first time being the headline of a tour. He said
first time headlining the tour.
Yeah, might have been his first show as a headline.
Nah, it wasn't a show.
Okay. First headline as a tour though.
Definitely first headline tour. TDE, all of TDE was in that building.
Mm-hmm.
Schoolboy was still his hype man. Absol performed, Rock performed.
Yeah, I remember that.
After that, they was accessible. They came down, dapped up everybody, took pictures, signed autograph. I still got my high power shirt.
You got it that night?
That shit super faded now.
Look a little bit.
This is why you don't do good things for people, right? we went with our partners, right?
Yeah.
So got my partner's shirt, had him sign it. I got just a shirt because I knew I was gonna wear mine.
Yeah.
I talked to my partner. I'm like, you know where that high power shirt is? No. You got a signed Kendrick Lamar shirt.
Oh, signed.
Signed.
Your shirt is signed?
Mine, my partners. I bought it for my partners.
I
bought theirs so they can sign, get a signature.
Come on.
It's somewhere with a high power Kendrick Lamar shirt, just somewhere in the ether.
With a live, like a wet signature.
It's his. I handed it to him. He signed it. He handed it to me back.
Yeah, definitely got him.
I dapped him up. Good looking, bro.
You definitely can't toss the wet signature Kendrick Lamar shirt behind the.
We were engaged in that conversation, bro. Like, where's that shirt?
For real.
Can't do the good.
Nah, that was
you can't do good things for people. Crazy.
No, you just got to do good things for the right people.
Yeah, the right people. It's like, bruh,
that wasn't the right people.
Nah, bruh.
That was a classic night, though. Yeah. That was a classic.
That's how much people didn't believe in him.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't mean nothing. But in 2024, imagine what that shirt is worth now.
Trying to pull the. You could pull up the topics back up for me. Yeah, there we go. Oh, we don't want to cooperate. he kept hitting the dance. But nah, I was gonna say, yeah, what's worth now? She's gonna keep being worth money. You see, Kendrick about to do the Super Bowl.
That's my point.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my point.
You know that, and even that was a whole drama between the whole, Kendrick and Wayne. To be honest with you, I understood where everybody was coming from, just in terms of like, what is Wayne on? Like, Wayne is an automatic.
Why is he an automatic?
Because of the city.
What they got to do with the with the NFL?
And he's the top 5 of all time.
Do Wayne even watch the Saints?
If I'm not, but it's the Super Bowl is not reflective of the Saints.
I ask you a question.
I don't know if Wayne's a Saints fan, to be honest with you.
Wayne is a Packers fan.
Okay. I was about to say because he roots for different random teams.
Yeah, so even with,
but that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that you don't get Wayne when he's in your city,
bro. Not today. Maybe 2015, maybe, but not Wayne. Not Wayne in 2020 going into 2025.
No, you tripping. I mean,
tripping.
If that's the case,
but if that's the case, they would have gotten Wayne.
Nah,
they know that Wayne's draw in 2025 is not the same as it was, and it doesn't garner the same look as.
Now y'all see why I said Kendrick's fan.
We're not talking about Kendrick. We're talking about Wayne.
I know, but what I was saying,
they could have got anybody. They could have got Katy Perry this year. They could have got Taylor Swift this year.
They got Kendrick. That's why you asked anybody. But for me, I understand both ends of it. Like I was saying to begin with, I understand with Wayne. Like damn, that could be automatic. I could see automatically somebody getting Wayne. Most of the Super Bowl acts are people who, a lot of times, are past their heyday in their career, so to speak. Whether it be J-Lo, whether it be other artists. But at the other end, I do J-Lo's done. But at the other end, I do understand getting Kendrick is what I was gonna say. I honestly, Kendrick is hot right now, especially with the whole Drake and Kendrick beef kind of just now coming to an end. I get it. I get going Kendrick. Kendrick hot. He just killed Drake. He got the They Not Like Us. And Kendrick does have a lot of songs that kind of, not to say, Weezy doesn't, but Kendrick has a lot of songs that are liked even in dominant society, I say, even in main society, even beyond our culture. You know what I'm saying? Where some of the songs that we cherish, from Wayne and Cash Money, songs that we might play for our grandchildren, you know what I'm saying, aren't songs that necessarily, and Wayne does have songs that broke that barrier, don't get me wrong, but not necessarily, all of the ones that we cherish, though. You know what I'm saying?
What songs could Wayne perform at the Super Bowl?
Now, see, we can't do that. Now, see, that's going too far. See, that's what I don't understand is when people go so far in, in support of Kendrick, where they act like they don't even.
Any of this have to do with Kendrick.
They don't even understand how Wayne.
Can Wayne?
I'm answering.
But you bringing up Kendrick.
I'm answering. I think people go too far in support of Kendrick in saying basically that Wayne, or almost even acting as if Wayne isn't a decent option for the Super Bowl in New Orleans. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy work. Come on. That's crazy. If we gonna act like, we can't even act like I don't even want to entertaining the idea that Wayne, top 5, dead or alive, isn't an option for the Super Bowl in New Orleans is crazy work. Wayne has all kinds of songs, bro. All kinds of, like, what? Are you serious? What about 6 foot, 7 foot? Okay, I'm going in.
Okay, that's one.
Come on, bro. I mean, we can go down the list, but bro, Wayne got eternal. What? Wayne got all kinds of joints, bro. At one point, he held the record for the most Billboard hits, like top 100 hits, until Drake took it. But Wayne was gonna bring Drake out on stage. He was gonna bring Nicki Minaj out on stage. They was gonna perform songs, and they got songs that have broke the barrier.
They do. Yes,
it's gonna be a whole little.
Nicki Minaj can perform at the Super Bowl.
Said Nicki Minaj can perform. Don't do that.
She can.
Don't do that to Weezy, bro. Don't do that to Weezy.
But Nicki Minaj can.
So you don't feel like Weezy is an option at the Super Bowl?
anyone is an option, bro.
No. You don't feel like Wayne
Anybody
is
is
a
an
good
option.
Like he would be somebody who would be in consideration, one of the top options to be selected for a Super Bowl performance.
No, which is why he's not. Do you when? Okay, a couple things. I have so many things going in my brain right now. The Super Bowl is less about you being a good rapper and more about you being an amazing performer. And if we're talking
And a
about
star.
and if we're talking about performance aspect, what I said, Nicki Minaj has the catalog as well as the performance aspect to make the Super Bowl for halftime performance into an amazing show.
You know, why not? Yeah, of course. Nicki was gonna come on stage with Easy B.
But Lil Wayne doesn't have that same effect. Lil Wayne's catalog nor his stage performance equal a good halftime
Let me pull up some
halftime performance.
before I segue into this mental health, man. Let me pull up Lil Wayne's top hits before we even. You disrespecting Wayne like.
Why you can't tell me what his top hits are?
Why do I not know all of Lil Wayne's top hits? Hard.
Yeah.
Can't I can't use my top
You you can.
I don't know Kendrick Lamar's top hits. I mean, what are we talking? I don't know everybody's top hits by heart. I want to be able to reference. Is that not a good thing? I'm always reference as we're talking on the podcast. That's what people do. So okay, I said a Millie. Definitely a
You
Millie.
didn't say a Millie.
That's not the song that
You don't even know the Wayne song that you're talking about. That's kind of my point.
Of course I know the song. I know the song by heart.
But I know it's not a Millie.
Okay. My bad. So I'm gonna suck it's the wrong one. So he has a Millie, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
He definitely got a Millie. G's moving. Silence like lasagna.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm talking about. Hustler Music, Lollipop, Mr. Carter featuring Jay-Z, Something Like My Daddy.
These aren't Lil Wayne's biggest hits.
I really don't feel like they are.
These are 25 essential tracks.
Okay, thank you. Because I don't feel like these are Wayne's top songs. Oh, let's see. What you think
About Lil Wayne? I think that Lil Wayne is not a good enough performer.
6 foot, 7 foot. That's the name of it.
Super Bowl. That's
6
what I
foot,
think.
7 foot. Okay, so boom. 6 foot, 7 foot.
All right.
To say I don't know 6 foot, 7 foot because I didn't know the title is the dumbest shit ever.
You singing the song but don't know the title. The words are in the words that you are singing. That's literally the name of the song.
Okay, but because I don't know that, then I don't know anything about the song. That's dumb. That's dumb. Just because I can't remember something means I don't know it is dumb. All right, so 6 foot, 7 foot, a Millie, Mona Lisa featuring Kendrick, Best Rapper Alive, She Will, Stunned Like My Daddy, Mr. Carter. Yeah, I feel like this is Go DJ, Miss Officer. So yeah.
Yeah, what?
Wayne got some. We got 6 foot, 7 foot. We got a Millie, right? We got Stunt Like My Daddy. We got Go DJ.
You're also talking about the Super Bowl, my guy. Like we're not talking about a concert.
I mean, I started out by saying these are songs in our culture that are heavily already, cherished in our culture, but aren't necessarily always breaking the barrier. That's what I said.
Which is why I'll go back to it's the Super Bowl. these songs being played at the Super Bowl doesn't do the thing that I'll just keep, because I don't want to keep sounding like I'm riding for Kendrick.
You definitely
That's why I'm saying
riding.
I haven't said a word about Kendrick.
I know you don't have to say it.
Nicki Minaj at this point.
You get no lane for Kendrick. I hear you.
A Nicki Minaj doing Starships looks different than a Lil Wayne performing 6', 7 with Corey Guns at the Super Bowl.
I mean, I don't even know where Nicki Minaj coming to the combo, to be honest with you. I'll be honest.
You told me that he was going to bring them out. And then that led me to say that Nicki Minaj is a better choice for the Super Bowl than Lil Wayne.
Yeah. So my whole discussion was more so about just being able to, like, I'm not so much like this person versus this person, you know? Because me personally, I don't feel like I have to put one artist down in order to salute the other artist, to be honest with you. So for me, I feel like I said from the beginning, to be honest with you, I feel like personally, I understand both. I can understand both camps. I can understand Wayne being an easy option for the Super Bowl, especially growing up in my generation. Shit, everybody loved Wayne, and he was the top artist at the time. So when you come to a city and it's gonna be a Super Bowl, off top, people gonna think Wayne. Even though they had already been in New Orleans hella times. So I mean, he could have been performed, but at the same hand, I get it. I do get it. And I think if Wayne came out, I don't think he would just be performing his songs. I think he would have brought out Drake. Just he would have did the 6 foot, 7 foot. He would have did a Millie. Then he would have brought out Drake. Drake would have did some songs, and Nicki Minaj would have came out and did some songs. And then he would have had some other people who know, and he might have linked up with Master P. Who know what that would have looked like? But I also get that Kendrick is fucking killing it right now. So I don't know. I don't subscribe to this, like, I gotta put down Wayne in order to be like Kendrick should get it. I get Kendrick getting it, and I feel like Wayne being considered, I understand too.
Awesome. I That's great. Lil Wayne, if you hear this, you deserve to be on the Super Bowl.
Yeah, for sure. Once. Just Kendrick killing it right now. That's really what it boiled down to me. Kendrick killing it right now. He on the end of the whole Drake hype. And let me ask you this. Do you feel like J. Cole has enough?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
No, no.
Yeah.
There's very few artists in hip hop that should and could do the Super Bowl.
Who the artists you think would be?
I just said one.
Nicki?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's very few artists who could and should.
Nicki, Kendrick, Jay. I mean, they gave it to 50.
But they didn't give it to 50. They gave it to Dre. And Kendrick performed then.
Yeah, they gave it to Drake.
So it's not about, so
gave it
we
to Drake.
know that at least Kendrick can do the Super Bowl.
Okay, I think I
Kendrick,
for sure Kendrick thinks he gonna kill the Super Bowl.
Dre, M, Fifth, Dot, Snoop.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Snoop could do the Super Bowl by itself.
Mm-mm.
I don't think at this point anybody in that group that I just named can do the Super Bowl by themselves except for Kendrick.
Who was the group? Say it again.
M,
Mm-hmm.
Fifth,
Mm-hmm.
Snoop, Dre.
Fifth, Snoop, Dre, M could have, and I know more. It's kill. It's too far gone.
Yeah.
If M was gonna do it, he would have had to do it a little closer to his height. He could have, but yeah, I know more. It's killed
He
now.
couldn't have.
You don't think M could have back then? M had hits.
What is he saying in these hits? We're talking about the Super Bowl.
No, yeah,
Bro.
yeah, yeah. Good
We're
point.
talking about the Super Bowl.
I don't know. I don't know. M, even though M was saying wild stuff in his hits, it still was mainstream music at the time. Just lose it. Just lose it.
Yeah, and
They
then
love it.
you break down what he's saying in the verses, and then you look at the Super Bowl, and those two things are not going to get married.
I don't know. Eminem, they loved it. I think the same corporate people who at the time were selecting for the Super Bowl. And I mean, I'm not saying you don't got a point because I definitely hear you. M was wild. M used to be wild his lyrics. So it ain't like you don't got a point. But I guess I feel like there's a piece of corporate America. There's a part of corporate America outside of our culture. Hip hop is our culture, in terms of, melanated people. But outside of our culture, there is a culture in corporate America where they like that.
Of course.
Where they like that and they play it at their malls. They play it, in the background, the instrumentals in the background in their offices. They play it at their games. And so there's a piece of it where I'm like, I don't know. They kind of did like make Eminem like a corporate brand for a second there. Like M did kind of go from being the crazy underground rapper to being like this corporate white dude who was kind of, seen in the light where he was playing his music around kids,
Yeah, truly.
Um,
Hi, kids.
you said hi, kids?
Hi, kids. Do you like violence? Do
Oh,
you want to watch me stick 3-inch nails inside of my eyelids? His first bars.
yeah, yeah. If you were listening to the explicit version, then what they would do is they would bleep that out, put it on the radio where you're not hearing that. It's just like, hi, my name is. You listen to the explicit version of that,
He
and
was
the
a
explicit version is crazy.
he
But
was an
then on the
amazing-
internet, it's like, on the radio, it's like, yeah, of course they're gonna take all that out and just.
Yeah.
It's still crazy, even without all the explicit parts. But they made it corporate though.
Him is an amazing hook writer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He was allowed to get crazy shit off in his verses
Crazy,
and have you singing along by the hook.
crazy,
Yeah.
crazy, crazy, crazy. But now, the segue, I wanted to, man, I was gonna talk just a little bit about what I felt like. It was a big thing, the whole KDot versus Drake versus J. Cole thing. And I kind of wanted to get into a little bit about one. I thought it was interesting Cole just backing out. Because that in itself to me is a mental health topic. Because bro kind of chose his piece.
Yeah, as he should.
Bro
I don't got nothing
chose
to
his
do with
piece.
this. And if y'all gonna fight, then y'all are gonna fight. Y'all not about to. I don't need to be in the middle of this.
Bro chose his piece.
Bro
Man.
said I'm cool with being 3. Y'all fight for 1 and 2.
Right? Right?
Hey.
He said, I'm out. On one hand, I'm gonna be honest with you as a man from Oakland. I don't know. Like I do have my own feelings in terms of if I was in that situation, especially as a hip hop artist. And a fan of Cole. It was hard for me to accept Cole just I don't know. First he came out with the song, and when you listen to the song, you can kind of tell like his heart wasn't all the way in it.
Yeah, no, this was I gotta say something. This is my partner's gas me, and now I'm talking.
Damn near.
And it's like
Damn near.
that didn't. So as a man, you say that wasn't really me. I wouldn't have even did that, and it don't exist no more. Because he could have just let it stay. He could have bowed out and kept the song, and it still would have been. We still would have been talking about it. But bro said this don't even exist no more. I'm not putting that outside. I'm not putting that in the energy. I'm not putting that energy out.
Yeah, I'm not putting that in my energy. Is what I took from it. Like what I took from it wasn't even so much what he was putting out, is what he was taking in.
Yeah,
is from what I took from his response. He was just basically like, man, I know the type of mind frame I'm gonna be in to even be going at it.
Yeah, exactly.
With Kendrick, and I know where that's gonna take me in terms of my energy. And I don't even really want to, you know what I'm saying?
I also don't have a problem with these niggas.
And that's a second point I was just getting ready to make. I think one is him not wanting to go there, and two, like you're saying, I don't think he really felt. He's like, man, if it ain't real fun, what's the point of even having to even go there in terms of that, even taking in that energy in my mind for what?
And
it ain't even real funk.
It wasn't, and even in the bars, it's not beef. It's rap. We're doing what we're supposed to do. Cole and Dot battling each other, just rapping at each other is just that. This is just exercising. We just hooping.
Mm-hmm.
We hooping.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I hate you.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate you, Drake.
Exactly.
I hate you, Aubrey. I hate you.
Like it would have to take that in order for it to really be.
That is like, yo, Cole, like, all right, you rapped. All right, cool, whatever. Like, you, I know you ain't talking.
To be honest with you, I don't even think Kendrick, even though don't get me wrong, you know, he I think he doesn't like Drake in the sense of, you know, what Drake stands for in hip hop. But like on a real life level, do I think Kendrick really, really, really hates Drake? I don't even think he do. I really don't. I don't think Kendrick really probably even. I don't want to say care because he cares, but I don't think he puts like Kendrick come from. You know, he come from the soil. Kendrick from the soil. Kendrick not like one of these cats who, you know, come from the suburbs or come from somewhere weird. Kendrick come from the soil, so he done been through real problems. He done seen what real funk look like. He done seen probably friends, you know what I'm saying, get taken away, get killed, you know what I'm saying, and have real probably feelings about the people who took him away, you know what I mean? So he probably didn't experience what would be considered, you know, where we from, real funk, you know what I mean?
Right.
So when it come to like the little hip hop stuff, do I think he probably like, man, bro, not a real rapper? You know, I think he weak. You know what I'm saying? What he stand for, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, you probably do feel like that. But on a real life level, do I think Kendrick finna like try to strip him when I see him or try to have his partner do something manly to him? I doubt it, bro. I don't think Kendrick tripping on him like that. You know, I think Kendrick seen an opportunity to showcase that, you know, to stick his chest out. You know what I mean? Put his chin up to showcase, hey, I'm the best. And I think he been wanting to show people I'm the best. You know what I'm saying?
He's only showed people that he was the best.
You know,
He has only shown people that he was the best. At no point has this nigga said anything different. At no point has bro said anything different other than I am the best, bro.
That's all he's trying to do. He's just trying to, you know what I'm saying, show I am.
And time again, it's proven what you are saying. Like you haven't, no one has said otherwise. And the person that did just, what he got? He just got his pow.
So yeah, I think, you know, and on Drake and Kendrick's side, I think they both sticking their chests out, and I think that's hip hop. I don't think there's nothing wrong with it, man. I think sometimes as fans, at least today, I don't remember it being like that before back in the day, unless it was really like serious problems. But in today, people take it so serious. People get into it. It's like the fans, you know, fans go at it almost tougher online than
But that's
the
what
artists these days. You know, it's crazy. You know,
your
and
fan bases are the entities that are going at each other, not even really the artist.
A lot of times, you know, most of the times, you see whether it's the Beehive or the whatever, you know what I'm saying, Hive or whatever, they, you know, they go at it with this, you know, and a lot of times you're right, you see that clashing, but in reality, man, it's cats just sticking their chest out, just competing.
Yeah.
It's a competitive sport. It's like, you know, playing hoop. You know what I'm saying? It's like playing hoop. It's like, you know, you playing one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? It's that one cat in the school who, you know, he cool. You might have played hoop with him once or twice, but he ain't your, you know, your people's. Right. He ain't your partner.
Right.
You know, and they say he raw. You know, you see he got a little game or whatever, but you like, he really not nice like that though. Like, bruh, step back really not like mines though. Like, you feel me? He really, his handle, his bunny's really not like this though. You feel me?
Yeah, and that's hate.
You just waiting on that opportunity, you know, catching that one day where everybody was looking at lunch in the schoolyard. You like, hey, bro, he didn't beat somebody weak. Hey, bro, I play next. Everybody, ooh,
And then you yak on him, and then he never played no more. He just never played basketball ever again.
Well, I don't think that's the case. I'm see, and I'm gonna jump into that piece with Drake because I don't think that's the case. I don't
Oh, I'm
think
not
Drake
talking
going
about Drake.
nowhere. Yeah.
I'm not
See,
talking about Aubrey, bro.
oh, okay. Yeah, I
I
don't think
think
Drake going
Aubrey
nowhere.
will still make music. I think Aubrey will
He will.
still do the things that he has always done
Yeah.
and move on until he's irrelevant. But yeah, this
Yeah.
isn't. This is more so uh, a celebration of bringing real niggas back. It's really
Says every Kendrick fan.
it really is though, bro. Like if you are a person, and I'm not even relating. I'm not relating it to a Kendrick. To
Let
Kendrick,
me hold space for the stand.
I'm more so saying if there is a battle between um what we were talking about earlier, bro, just like the 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 energy of being real versus the energy of pretending. And when something is official, there is no way around it. It is official. When something is put on and pretend, you could start pulling from the fabric and see where it's missing. And just just this battle alone is showing, yo, what is real will always remain, and what is pretend can fade away at any point. It can fade away at any point
So it's
because
safe
people
to
who enjoy Drake, love Aubrey for who he is and what he does, who no longer like him
it's safe to
because another guy said mean things about him.
it's safe to say that you're happy with the results.
I'm good. There is no other way of it happening. There is no universe
He's happy with the results. I'm gonna
in
go
which
ahead and say it.
something else would have happened. There is only one way that this situation can go down. There is no like Doctor Strange where it's like there's only one opportunity to win. There is no opportunities to win in this situation for Aubrey.
Hell yeah. Hell
And
yeah.
and
I
if
know a
we
lot of
bring
Kendrick
in
fans feel the same.
and
Feel the
if
same.
we are bringing in mental health, then how he's feeling about this whole situation
Yeah, I was gonna let you cook, and I was gonna get back to that. I was gonna
is
get back to that.
is a situation to where now you have to overcompensate for everything mean that another man said about you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. So for me, let me see where because I kind of want to take a step back. So let me take a step back. I'm gonna go back to J. Cole first, because I wanted to touch a little bit more on that in terms of J. Cole. I think that was I touched on it earlier. I think that was said a lot about his mental health because I don't think that's just the obvious choice. I don't think most men to do that. I can't say I would have. I don't think most people just automatically um, will put their ego to the side and put their bravado to the side and say, you know what? I don't care what everybody else gonna think. I don't care how this is gonna make me look in terms of hip hop. Because, like I said, it's a competitive sport. It's like somebody telling you to play one on one, and you walk away and say no. Everybody in the school gonna look at you differently in terms of your hoop skills. It's a competitive sport, so I you know, I do think there's pros and cons to it. I definitely think that um, on one hand, it's the obvious. I think Cole. Speaking of losing fans, that's why when you just said that, it made me kind of think of Cole. Cole lost some fans. Cole for sure lost some fans in this ordeal in terms of people kind of looking at the people who love Cole and feel like Cole's a dope lyricist. They still love Cole. And they
Of
still
course,
think he a dope lyricist.
of course.
We're not talking about those people. But people on the fringe who may listen to Cole just here or there, he lost some because they felt like it was that he should have, came back. He should have, responded. And even if it wasn't like on no gangster, it wasn't on no gangster shit. He didn't necessarily have to be on no, I'm gonna come back and kill you or nothing like that.
Yeah, never done.
Yeah, he could have just, played the sport of hip hop. Like, I'm a better lyricist.
Yeah.
Because Cole been popping it for a few years now.
Yeah, it still is.
You can't be popping
still
it
is.
like high power popping it like, you feel me? I'm him. And then when somebody come and challenge your throne, I'm not talking about violence. I feel like Kendrick and J. Cole had the ability to engage in a lyrical battle that doesn't go into to the peripherals. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So, on one hand, I do understand that. I'm not gonna lie. On the other hand, I think it speaks a lot about cold peace. I mean, you really gotta have a cold um sense of your chi or your balance to just be like, nah, no engagement that's gonna take me here. I'd rather just keep myself here. Like, what am I gonna get from that?
Right.
And I don't know. I don't know. The more and more I just kind of chop that up and I think about it, because like I said, on one hand, I think I know how a lot of us would react, me included. But on the other hand, I think it's something to be said, man. Just about cold mental health. His own sense of like regulation or emotional regulation, or even just having insight or awareness, just knowing like that could possibly lead me to being at a bad place in my mind.
Yeah.
Um,
That is maturity.
truly,
that is what
truly,
that is what
truly.
that is what a lot of people are missing, is just flat out maturity to say all that says is leads to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And a Drake and Dot battle would have been like the most kindest battle you've ever heard in your life. Really.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
A call
a Dot,
and
yeah.
that
And
battle.
there is no animosity. It's just raps.
Mm-hmm.
It's just rap, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have been fine. But it was
Mm-hmm.
unnecessary to do it in the ways that they did it. It the response, if you're gonna stay out of it, you should have just stayed out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because aligning with a side puts you on the side.
I mean, that's one viewpoint. That's one
If
perspective.
you can't I can't be
Definitely
beefing.
a pro Kendrick perspective.
I can't cool. I can't beef with I can't be cool with your op and then talk shit in public about you, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the way I see it, I didn't see it as Cole really putting himself in anything. I just see it as really what I just said. I see it as Kendrick saw him popping it, and maybe he was perturbed by him. I mean, that's natural. And you're not cool with somebody, and now, or you feel like you got feelings towards somebody, like you just saying, and he cool with him too. So now I don't like him either. But I think more so it was Cole popping it, like, I'm the top MC. And I think Dot was just taking offense to like, nah, I'm him. You know what I mean? I don't feel like Cole was so much aligning himself with Drake, like against Dot or nothing like that. Cause he even said in the verse, the top three, it's us three, me, Dot, and Drake. I don't think he was aligning himself. But I just think I do understand this though. I do understand the idea that if you gonna really pop it, then you got to be ready when the response comes.
Y'all can't you can't be my partner and stand next to my partner, stand next to my op talking shit about me, bro. That's
So you felt like Cole was talking shit about KDot.
you can't do that. And then when I respond to it,
But when was Cole talking shit about KDot?
we're at first person shooter.
Yeah, yeah.
We're at first person shooter, right? When I respond to first person shooter, you then diss me
Yeah,
to then turn around and be like, "Oh, you know what?
that's a different
I
perspective.
shouldn't have even dissed you, bruh. I didn't really mean that in my heart. I just did it because I got gassed up.
What? Yeah, the end part definitely. Yeah, that's definitely how it ended for sure.
How the whole thing went. Y'all made first person shooter. I responded to first person shooter. You then took it upon yourself to make a 7 minute, whatever it was called, 7 minute freestyle, 7 minute workout session, whatever you thought, whatever cute title you thought you was gonna make, and then drop it on your highly anticipated mixtape, and then it was gonna be good. Like, you think it's gonna be good? You think how is that not? How is that not you aligning yourself with a nigga that is against?
I'll be honest with you. The reason I don't like that narrative, I mean, I respect it. That's your perspective. I'm not trying to. I get it. You know, I can see the Kendrick fan with that perspective. But for me, the reason I don't like it is it almost paints a narrative like Kendrick was a victim or something. Like he was being picked on and he had to respond. And then when he responded, he just smashed the person. And I don't see it like that.
No,
I don't.
he's
Hold on, let me cut.
he.
Again, I hear your perspective. I get it.
You're
But
shifting what I'm saying
I'm not.
into something that is
I'm not
different than
trying to.
what I'm saying.
I'm not shifting it. I'm just trying to put out a different perspective. That's it. Um, I understand that perspective. I promise I get it. I promise I 100% understand your perspective. Right. I just have a different perspective.
I understand that.
Is it okay if I pitch a different perspective without you feeling like I'm shifting what you've already stated to your perspective?
Go ahead, bro.
All right. So that your perspective, I'll start out just to validate. Your perspective is that Cole basically was getting at Kendrick on first person shooter. He was getting at Kendrick. Kendrick responds to him getting at him on first person shooter. Not only is he getting at him, but he's aligned himself with someone who Kendrick, who he probably has knowledge of Kendrick maybe not already liking. And then Kendrick responds, and then after Kendrick responds, basically he then responds to that by dissing him on a mixtape that he knew the whole world was going to hear, and then follows that up by then apologizing on stage. It's basically your perspective, right?
That's not my perspective. That's what happened.
So, do you have the ability to understand that there's different perspectives on what happens? So, like the way you see it is one perspective, and then there's other people's perspective of what happened also.
Thank you for explaining what my perspective is. What is your perspective on
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So, but I'm trying to confirm that you feel like I'm shifting. So that was what you feel happened, correct?
my point of view saying that me saying that you're shifting isn't about my perspective. It is
No,
about
no, before you go into something else, I'm asking a simple question. What I just said is that basically what you felt is what happened?
yeah, bro.
Okay, cool. So that's your view. Without going into other stuff, that's your view, basically. All right. So my perspective on it, is that I think I don't think one. I don't know even know if Cole even knew that Dot and Drake was even at it like that, like that. I think when he said the line about us three, the top three in the game, I don't think he was saying that to excite Kendrick. I think if anything, he was trying to give him a shout out. To be honest with you, I don't think he was really trying to kick off no funk with Kendrick. Um, I don't think, not to say Dot ain't like that, but he's not like that. I don't think he was really trying to kick it off with Dot like that. I don't think he wanted that smoke. I think yeah, if anything, so him doing the little songs with Drake. I mean, a lot of people did songs with Drake. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think again that he thought that was gonna make Kendrick go out and diss him. To be quite honest, I don't think that's what he even thought. I think he felt probably that he was responding to Kendrick when Kendrick came out with the like that with Future, and then he came back and responded. So that piece, I think there's room for like interpretation and different perspectives. You know what I'm saying? The end piece is exactly like you said. What happened? Like you got on stage afterwards, and then he basically apologized for the song that he just dropped that everybody was hoping he was gonna perform. That piece, yeah, that was whatever. But to kind of take a step back, something that you was talking about earlier, though, in terms of Drake having to like get over, I wonder what it is doing to his mind, like having to get over the world laughing at him, basically. Him obviously being the person who lost the battle, being the person who, I mean, you go in the comments on social media and you could just type the word Drake and you'll get 5 responses with people going in on him. Like really everybody's laughing at him. So I mean that is a good point. I want a lot of people who's close to him, I seen little reports or whatnot basically saying, the people who are close to him report he's good, that they feel like he's stable, they feel like he happy, that they didn't have any effect on him. Or not, not the effect that we would think at least. But I don't know. I mean, is that something that he's hiding? Is that something that mm, maybe, late at night when nobody else around is something that really is fucking with him? You know what I'm saying? Or, does he, have a good, like I said about Cole, is he a good place with his chi? Does he have a good place with his own mental health? And he feels like, you know what, I don't even engage with social media or look at what they say about me. I only pay attention to the people who love me, kind of dynamic. Um, I don't know. It is definitely interesting though to see how he gonna move forward and just see how it's gonna be for him moving forward in terms of like, is the they not like us moment gonna be a moment, or is this like the forever laughing at Drake kind of thing? But when he comes out with hot songs, we gonna listen to it still kind of thing. Like, what does that look like? Yeah, definitely. What you think?
He has to drop a hot song.
Yeah,
We don't know until he drops a hot song.
yeah, yeah.
And you could drop all these songs, but if none of them are hot, then what are we talking about?
Like a hit.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, not just like a cool little song that everybody put on the playlist. Nah. You need one of them. You need one of them top 40 bangers right now, or top 25, whatever they call them, bangers right now. You do. Drake for surely do. I think he gonna have one, but he gonna need it though. He gonna need it to bounce back. And once he drop it, he'll drop a little female, little, that matter of fact, that goodness gracious song he had with Yachty, the one that they remixed,
Yeah.
that would have been one. That would have been one, but I heard he couldn't get it clear because of
He dropped it though. He dropped it without Yachty.
officially.
Right.
What? Okay. Because last word I got was bro wanted them to clean it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, but did he take Yachty off because he had to clean it up? Was that the reason he took Yachty off?
I don't know why he took Yachty off, bro. I just know that he's not on there anymore.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy. I got to double back and listen to it because I know he was waiting to get the sample cleared. Um, yeah, that's crazy. Okay, I gotta tap into it. Man, let me see what the uh, next topic is. Oh man, yeah, it's been a lot going on with the politics, man. Um, Me personally, just like with the last topic, man, I kind of pride myself on being somebody who more so sits back and takes observation of like where everybody at with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
More so than just heavily diving in on something, or being an extremist on one end. But there's certain values I hold though that don't matter what's going on, it's my value. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like for instance, I don't never just promote. Well, I'm not gonna say never. There's always a reason for everything, but I don't promote random violence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason for violence, but not random violence. So even when Trump got shot, I'm not gonna lie, that's not something that like I saw some people online like celebrating it, and I'm like, it's still a human getting
Yeah.
shot, bro. I'm not really. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not gonna be the one. Like, yeah, I don't think it's never really cool when people
Shot or shot at?
shot at. My bad.
Oh, okay.
In our culture, you know what I'm saying. Well, actually, it was both because he got shot in the ear. You know what I'm saying? So,
All right.
well, you ain't buying it.
I said all right. I'm
Uh,
confirming that I heard what you said.
okay. I'm about to say you ain't buying it because there's that too. There's people who like, man, I ain't buying it. I don't think he got shot. I think it's all a hoax. Yeah, you got people like that too. But
It's above my pay grade, and I wouldn't talk about that on this podcast anyway.
yeah, I feel you. Yeah, for me, I just yeah, I do kind of wonder on two different levels. Not only kind of the mental health of the people in it, obviously, whether it be, Kamala Harris or whether it be Trump or anybody else, any other politician, but more so like the way politics affect the mental health of like the general society, though. Um, is something that's interesting to me.
Yeah,
I got a lot of clients who literally come in with like depression or anxiety, sometimes purely because of the state of like politics in the country.
right, right.
Um, you was gonna say something?
No,
Uh-uh. And I just find it, yeah, bro. I find it, I mean, on one hand, I understand. On the other hand, it's like we always like to say in my field, the goal is to never allow something that's outside of your control to control your emotions.
hmm
And I don't want to be invalidating because I get it. Politics definitely affect us, but people get so into it though,
right.
so into it at a level that I don't feel like it's healthy to keep it all the way with you. And again, like I said at the beginning, I respect everybody's political views, wherever you stand on it. It's not even about that. It's just about like, is that healthy for you? People who like I'll give you an example. People who watch the news, political news, and they
Right.
watch it 5 times a day, and they
Mhm.
watch it when they wake up, and they watch it on lunch when they get home, and then they go home at night and they watching the murders and all the politicians, fight and going at it. It's like, is that really healthy though?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, bro. I mean, for me, that's why I kind of have like a healthy boundary
Right.
when it comes to politics. To be honest with you, like local politics is one thing, but when it comes to the larger bureaucracy, especially when we're talking about like the president,
Right.
because I mean, how much actual power the executive branch has when you really actually, I am a public administration major, so when you really get into, the law, the balances, and the way it's kind of set up for it to be balanced and checked. And yeah, you have legislature, and Senate, and really in Congress. A lot of times, there's more power in that than there even is in the executive branch. With the
Right.
presidents. But we just put so much into it. And people allow themselves to get so anxious. In reality, we've had Trump before and we've had Kamala before. In reality, we've had both. Um, but and I do understand like a lot of times when people are running, they'll say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that." In reality, they become president, whether it's something good or bad. They become president, they don't got the power to do
Right.
it. You know what I'm saying? It's all really, I don't want to say propaganda, but it's kind of like a game. I just wish as a society we was at a place where even if you're gonna play the game, you do it in a way where you just have healthy boundaries. You're not overly engaging at a point where you're just super, super triggered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's really important. I think it's really important, bro. Especially to the OGs, man. A lot of the OGs, because like in our generation, now we don't really have like cable is like a thing of the past.
Right.
We don't really watch the news. Do you watch the news?
I do.
Okay. So you have regular cable?
No.
Okay. So you like me? You on YouTube and like pick certain like topics?
No. There's the TV has news channels.
Oh, okay. My bad. So you don't have to have cable. I get your point. Yeah. So you don't have cable, but nonetheless, you're accessing the
Correct.
local channels and you're
Correct.
watching it. Okay. So for me, I'm on the tube with it because on the tube I get to like select certain topics.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't get subjugated to like just random negativity.
Right.
To be honest with you, I get to pick. Like,
Mhm.
I like going to KTVU, online, or I'll go to and I get to, what I'm saying, unless there's
Yeah.
something mainly going on, like,
Right. Right. Right.
teams. And then I'm like, yeah, I gotta
Right.
I gotta watch this. But yeah, I just think it's important, bro. Just to have healthy boundaries, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Um, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Any you got any sauce you want to drizzle on that, bro?
Yeah. We should just do the things that make us happy. And
Mhm.
if that means you ingest politics all day and do that. If you see that it's hurting you, you should probably cut back. Do the things that make you happy, but in moderation.
There we go. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I like that. Everything in moderation, right? Definitely. Yeah, I was gonna segue into
What are we segueing into?
so back to the seguage. Nah, Candace Owens. Candace Owens is interesting. There's a lot of different things I can talk about when it comes to Candace Owens, but what I want to talk about is what she brought up recently in terms of gangster music. And she was talking about basically saying that gangster music isn't even something that comes from she felt like gangster music is something that was um not only molded but encouraged by larger dominant society outside that of black culture.
Okay.
And she went even so far as to say that she feels like the origins of gangster music doesn't come from us.
Okay.
Mind you, this is coming from somebody who often has had views and perspectives that have went against
Right.
the melanated community. I'd rather use melanated than black, but sometimes I just use black because that's when I say melanated, people are like, what that means? So I say black so people know what I'm saying, but then I go back to melanated. So I kind of find it interesting, because I can see the whole dichotomy. I think she went too far though. The origins, just to kick it off, the origins of gangster music comes from people saying, F the institution, fuck the institution, fuck the system, fuck the police, because we're being mistreated, we're being oppressed, we're being discriminated against, you know what I'm saying? And it was like the CNN of the hood, when they weren't reporting. We didn't have YouTube, we didn't have social media.
Right.
We had rappers like Ice Cube, we
Right.
had Dre, you feel me? We had Easy E, you
Right.
feel me? We had Too Short, we had these people who, Melly Mel even, even the hip hop, hip to the hippies, they wasn't gangster rap, but they fit into what I'm about to say. They describe what was going on around them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they gave us an eye to, we didn't know what was going on in New York. We didn't know what was going on in Philadelphia, but we could see a Beanie Siegel. You know what I'm saying? Go listen to a Beanie Siegel album and see a Beanie Siegel video.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or watch Jay-Z rap. So, it was kind of like that. It was more so them just describing what was going on. And since we come from communities where, we do face a lot of oppression that other people don't face, because I like to say we live in a caste system in a world that's still based on the color of your skin.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So due to that, when you look at the most impoverished areas and you look at the places where they have the least amount of resources, typically we somewhere around that thing, you know what I mean?
Right.
Ganging. So, with that said, it's not so much, gangster music gangs didn't even start in our communities, you know what I'm saying? And initially, the hood and ghettos, so to speak, was like European immigrants, but obviously we replaced them. So yeah, with that being said, I think she was wrong for that. I guess before I even go to my next point, bro, what you think about that, bro? What you think about the idea of just, do you think, even if it turned into something different later, do you think the origins, the original gangster music comes from us, or do you think it is, so to speak, industry plant type of situation that revolve from there?
I'll first start by saying I just think that Candace Owens is misinformed about a lot of things that involve us or involve a community that she doesn't speak for. So whatever she said is just starts from a place of being misinformed. So whether she's right or wrong, she's misinformed. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. So it's not a do I think this or do I think that. I just think she doesn't understand what she's talking about fully and has her ideas about and has heard rhetoric that creates her opinion.
I see what you mean. Yeah. You know, I know, I know people like that. People who are like extremely bright,
Right.
extremely intelligent. Right? It might have been like those people who was in class with you, who got like good grades.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I got good grades, but these are the people who got like better grades than me. You know what I'm saying? I might get, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I had classes I get an A, but let's say I might get a B or B plus. These are kids who are getting all A's. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you know, when you're younger, you kind of think, I don't know, people refer to them as the smart kids.
Right, of course.
You know what I'm saying? But as you get older, what I've really realized is, in a lot of cases and scenarios, and you know, I hope I'm big on academics. I'm big on academia, so I think all kids. I think that's our way out. Let me just start out by saying that. And I do think kids need to get A's. But that's not my point. My point is that sometimes people can confuse book smarts for um like actual, like you said, being informed.
Right.
And not only being informed, but applying that information to your conceptualization of the world. Right. Those are like two different things. You know what I'm saying? And as I got older, I realized some of the people who, you know, I felt like were really book smart, they were really good at like hearing a viewpoint or a perspective that they felt like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and they're really skilled at regurgitating that. They lock it in, boom, they understand it, boom, and then they have the ability to like regurgitate that and articulate it in a way where it almost seems as if, you know what I'm saying, this is what they thought. Yeah, and like that, like you was just saying with Candace Owens, she possibly these could be thoughts that maybe didn't necessarily even originate with her, but she heard it, like, huh, that makes sense. Boom, right? Had the ability to regurgitate it. So now that I get older, I don't really look at people's ability to articulate stuff as much, how book smart you are all the time. I look at more so your ability to like critically think,
right,
and your ability to like have different concepts, right?
Mm-hmm.
That maybe you know, aren't the same as the first four concepts that maybe the next person would have thought of.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What you're saying is just the prairie, right? You know, pedagogy of oppression, banking concept of I'm going to deposit this information, and when it's time, I'm going to withdraw this information from you. Does it match up? Here's your A. That has nothing to do with common sense or sense in general, or my ability to be smart. You cannot do your homework and understand everything that's going on in class. Just because you got an A in class doesn't mean that you don't have a understanding of the information.
Or just because you got an A doesn't mean that you have the ability to follow through and, like, let's say have, you know, I got your point. Point. Yeah, it goes vice versa as well.
If I come to class, if you being the person that you are, and being able to grasp everything that these teachers are saying, and if you just never did your work, that don't mean you stupid.
Yeah. Great point.
You just did what you were supposed to do in order to get your A or your B.
Or it could be environmental. Let's say you were at school and you being at school was the quietest part of your life.
Right.
Let's say that's the quietest part of your life is when you in that classroom. Let's say you go home to chaos. Let's say you go home to
don't go home.
You know what I'm saying?
There is no home to go home to.
You know, and wherever you going to, let's say it's multiple kids running around, multiple adults running around. You know what I'm saying? Could be a foster care situation. Could be, you know, like you said, it could be somewhere that isn't home to you per se, but you staying with wherever you staying in these environments. Yeah, so you right. Kid might not necessarily be set up to be able to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, do their homework. I remember the first semester when I went to Dago State, moved in with my auntie, and you know, auntie was looking out. I didn't even know auntie like that, but mom's introduced me to us. Hey, this your auntie. Where you staying?
Right.
I said, okay, for sure. Well, I went back up there. I was still 17, so moved in with auntie, and man, I loved it over there because it was family, and I didn't know nobody else in Dago, so it was cool to have some people with family. But I mean, it was just a lot going on. We was all tucked up in that thing. It was just an apartment, you know. I was on the couch. We was up in that thing tucked. So, you know, I'm getting off. I'm babysitting my niece, you know, babysitting my nephew. And, you know what I mean? You can get to a place where there's so much going on. You ain't got time. I didn't do good my first semester.
Yeah.
You know, because you got stuff going on, you know.
That has nothing to do with your intelligence.
Nothing to do, you know. And it took for me to get to a place where I moved in, you know, some people from the town who I knew, and had my own like little like room that I was renting where I could like, you know, where I could do work and stuff. And then, you know, my grades picked up. But that's just a small like what they call that, first world problems. That's like a small first world problem kind of example of like, excuse my language, real nigga shit that go on at a way younger age in terms of people not having a room, in terms of people having even louder environments, in terms of people, you know, having trauma all around them and going outside and being surrounded by even more trauma, you know. And get manny, right? Get manny. But my bad. I know I'm getting away from Candace Owens. I just had to touch on that because you said something that made me think about that.
Everything that we're talking about is about her. It's her about how uninformed she is. You don't even understand where this music comes from.
That's a fact.
You speaking on it, you're not speaking on it about black people to black people. You're speaking to someone who doesn't even look like you, saying these things about people that do look like you.
And even the, you know, as I'm thinking, even the labels that comes with certain titles like gangster music and what that even means, she doesn't understand. You know what I mean? She just hears gangster music, and to maybe someone who doesn't come from our community, you might just think of a gangster as maybe just some violent individuals in a gang. That's probably their full conceptualization of what a gangster is.
Gangster music, and you just think black man.
Even deeper, right?
And it isn't. So that net that you cast when you say gangster music, you might think that J. Cole is a gangster rapper because he might talk about certain things sometimes. Is J. Cole a gangster rapper, bro? Like, exactly. So it's like you're so misinformed to what.
Or Kendrick would be a better example. Kendrick would be a perfect example of somebody who, like, you listen to certain songs and they might think in their mind, oh yeah, well, he comes from, you know, certain kind of area. He's part of a certain, you know what I mean? He can fit the criteria to be a, you know, but
and I would make
that's because they don't come from our community.
You could make the point in those two scenarios that Kendrick Lamar is more of a gangster rapper than J. Cole.
No, for sure.
The things that Kendrick is talking about is literally talking about gang activity, even though that's not something that I'm doing in this world.
Like, and he doesn't stay there.
Exactly. But
he touches
on listening to Kendrick Lamar and I'm rapping about chipping a nigga and all this other type of stuff. That just that type of music and what he's saying could be considered that. But like I said, that net that you're casting of Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, not understanding that this mentality that I'm speaking about is a reflection on the streets that I see.
Yeah.
It isn't who I am as a human being or even as a rapper. So that your gangster mentality, your gangster rap idea is completely flawed from the beginning.
I can't agree more. Like I said in the beginning, like NWA used to say, they the CNN of the hood.
Right.
You know, the gangster rappers, and even the most violent of music, you know, typically it's coming from a place of trauma. You know, I was just showing you some stuff earlier. You know, a lot of these kids, man, they coming from communities where it's so much, like places like Chicago, places like St. Louis, places like Oakland, places like Baton Rouge, places like Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? You know, everybody know the places that we talking about.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? There's a few of them, man. in these communities, these kids seeing a lot of violence.
Right.
They're seeing their family members get killed. A lot of times before they even get off the porch, somebody might have tried to kill them. That might have been the reason they got off the porch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Just being around.
Just being around.
Yeah.
Just, going to the park to go play. Or
Right.
I was, I won't say their names, but I was listening to these Chicago artists, these youngsters, and they was asking, actually, the three youngsters I showed you.
Right.
I told you 2 or 3 of them passed now. And I believe they're cousins.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That aspect of it I do like.
Right.
Because they willing to go to any end for their cousin.
Mm-hmm.
But the older one, the one you were like, he's rapping. Is he rapping?
Yeah,
the first one. He so I can't remember which interviewer, but to me this is the best question that he had been asked. I was watching his interviews, and the interviewer asked him, how did what led you from here to here? How did you become this?
Yeah.
What would he didn't ask him using these, but that's what he was asking.
Right.
What would lead you to even want to, And he was interested in his answer. It was really introspective. I ain't gonna lie, it was insightful. Little bro was like, man, I was in the house. He said, man, he summarized it. It was just like, man, being around stuff at a young age. He said, my older brother or cousins, they was already. He said, man, let me explain. So he gave a story. He said when he was young, he sitting in a room playing video games, playing toys, something like that. And at a moment's notice, his bullets flying past his face. He's just in his room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So as he gets older, what do you think he gonna rap about?
Right.
Bullets flying past his face, like, because that's what he was around, So it's not so much like he was even 6'9" was actually from a impoverished area, but it's not like he's 6'9" where he's or 6'9" maybe is not a good example. I should.
6'9" is rarely a good example of anything.
Yeah, that's how you feel. But let me think. Trying to think who would be a good example of.
I think your point is understandable. It becomes a situation where you become what you are a part of and what you've been through. And on a large scale, that I don't believe that has to be the case. But when it is the case, you can't fault the people for it being the case without faulting the situations that put them there.
Well said. Well said. Well said. Well said. Yeah. And what I like to believe is in situations where it's not the case, there were certain privileges that were afforded. And sometimes those privileges can be hard to see because they don't always come in the form of like money or socioeconomics,
Right.
Like you can even look like within the same household. I was looking at this video, man. There's a therapist talking to this other psychologist, and he was saying something about his siblings, and he was like, even though we were raised by the same parents, and this guy just stopped him and said, yeah, but you weren't raised by the same parents.
Right.
That's interesting. Tell me more. He said, because you guys were raised at different parts of that person's life, and you guys received different versions of that person. You know what I'm saying? And you guys were raised in that household during different times of the world, even if it was 3-4 years apart. You know what I'm saying? So you guys had different reactions due to that. Sometimes we think, oh, we had the same mom, same dad, and you know what I'm saying? But in reality, there might be certain privileges that are, even if let's say all of them are in, like, even sometimes the person who goes through the most trauma is the one who receives privilege of that trauma and being able to like bounce back from it. And maybe sometimes the child who didn't go through that trauma until later on in life, right? And then boom, they get hit with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't get the privilege of that resiliency.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't mean privilege in terms of like something tangible or monetary, like, here, bro, I'm gonna give you this. You know what I'm saying? Oh, now you got the privilege because I didn't give you this. Nah, I don't mean it like that. it's a different kind of privilege sometimes that come from these situations. And you're right, it don't have to be that way to where people, it goes the way it goes. But if you're not afforded certain privileges, if you don't get certain things out of certain situations, then for sure that's the way it's gonna go. And like you said, people shouldn't be blamed for the sun shouldn't be blamed for shining, the grass shouldn't be blamed for being green, and water shouldn't be blamed for being clear.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, real talk. Real talk. One thing I definitely want to touch on before we get up out of here, controversial, so I ain't gonna go too deep in, but just the idea of hurting people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or rather hurt people, hurting people, Um, I see it a lot. I see it a lot just in like in my profession, definitely as a clinician. I see a lot of people who like go through physical abuse
Mm-hmm.
as a kid, and then when they raising their children, what do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They end up hitting their kids, And not everybody. Some of us like, I'm not doing that to my kids. I'm gonna
Right.
stick to it,
Definitely a choice.
But and even that is well, I guess choice is semantics, I guess, to a certain extent. But there's schools of thoughts within that in terms of like when I am, the whole I am, we are product of my environment. When I'm socialized to be a certain kind of way, is it a choice to choose my socialization, or am I just going along with it? You know what I'm saying? Um, and I don't know. I don't know that either is 100% reflective. I think it's both. I think we low key are socialized certain kind of ways, and at a certain point, when our brains are fully developed as adults, I think we do have a choice
I agree.
to continue or not continue, even if we've been led to a certain place. At a certain point in our life, it might not be our brains ain't fully developed to you 25. It might not be when you're 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever. But at a certain point in your life, you're going to have the privilege of choice. Getting back to privilege. You're going to have the privilege of choice. You're going to have that insight, I guess is what I'm saying. Most of us, I would say at least,
Right.
And I guess the question is, at that point, how hard is it to make these changes, and make a different choice if you've already, I guess, been ingrained in a certain, I don't know, a certain lifestyle, I guess what I'm thinking right now, I'm just thinking in terms of like street shit,
Yeah.
being a gangster and whatnot. It's like sometimes you have people who be like, so, and I can't even say people, just period. Like even us coming from the town, they'd be like, certain lifestyles were just so much ingrained in the culture, like not just this kid, that kid, but thousands of kids, like
Right.
all of us raised in this culture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes making a choice to be different is making a choice of the unknown,
Right.
not even knowing what different is. You know what I'm saying? Some of us might step into that, what we feel is a dark place. Not dark as in like negative emotion, but dark as in like what's over there, like Lion King over there, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Kind of get down. But some of us just gonna be like, then stick to what's familiar. And some of us gonna be like, nah, man, I'm gonna push and go over there.
Right.
Some of us gonna be like Symba, you feel me? Pun intended. You know what I'm saying? Some of us gonna be like, man, let me go over there where the bones at, man. I ain't never seen no bones before. Hey,
Right.
Nala, you wanna go see the bones? You feel me?
Right.
Everybody ain't gonna be Symba though. There's gonna be less Symbas than there's gonna be, I ain't seen none of them other little kids from Lion King running to go see the bone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was just Symba.
Mm-hmm.
Taking the home. You ended up being his wife. So, I don't know. I see it a lot in terms of just repeated cycles, and sometimes without insight. To be honest with you,
What is something that you were taught that you've gone against?
that's a good question. Something that I was taught. So this is something because this is something I'm dealing with ongoing, but currently is I come from a family of men, a lot of men. We don't have a lot of women in my family, and the women in my family are I mean, let me tell the superheroes because they do the stuff that men do and the stuff women do. You
Right.
know, what I mean by that is like they go to work, have full jobs. You know,
Right.
and I shouldn't even say that. That sounded disgusting. But just in
does,
terms
yeah.
of like old school, their generation though. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like what I said is accurate for their generation. Just don't interpret it for ours. But you know, back to what I was saying though, you know, their generation, like they did what men was doing in their generation, and you know what I'm saying, what women was doing, you know,
Right.
back in the 70s and 80s. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot of, you know, a lot of that energy in my family. With that being said, the communication is not a thing.
Mm.
Not only like amongst my family, I can even see it in my partners.
Mm.
Like people get so emotional when it's time to like communicate about feelings.
Mm-hmm.
People get so emotional, and it used to make me emotional. You know what I'm saying?
But at what point can you be emotional about your feelings?
I think you should always be in touch with your feelings. I think a piece of being an adult is learning how to like process your feelings without having always like an emotional reaction.
Got it. The reaction.
Correct.
Got it.
It's like you have to learn how to, like, I'll give you an example. Other day, I was late because I got off work late and I was supposed to meet my boy 30 minutes before. I know my boy a little Pisces. He into astrology, Pisces male. So, um, you know, he probably felt like I was playing with his time for being late. Bro, just cut. You know what I'm saying? I know my boy in terms of like I said, my boy, you know, he has his emotions, you know. Um, good dude though. With that being said, like if you are able to process your emotions in a healthy way, then you can pick up the phone or even shoot a text and be like, man, I'm feeling this kind of way, you know?
Right.
I'm getting ready to do this. You know, I'm gonna
Okay.
tap in. But sometimes we're so ingrained in our emotions, it's hard for us to even communicate. That's just gonna rev us up even more, having to communicate, you know? So for me, I don't subscribe to that. That's something I go against the grain with. You know what I'm saying? To the point where I got family who who it's like pins on needles after talk about stuff.
Right.
They rather anything. They rather go to war than just to talk about some stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Your answer is that you want to have that conversation.
Yeah. The answer is the processing of the way we feel.
Right.
Right. And only through that can you even have a better understanding of each other. Right. But you have to have the ability to care enough about people to even A, want to communicate to them, and B, want to take back what they're communicating to you, you know?
Yeah.
And that's not something that as men we do well.
Right. We're just gonna be mad.
Just be mad.
Until we're not.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I'm just gonna be mad. I don't wanna talk. I don't wanna say nothing. If you make me talk, I'm just gonna be more mad. But the cold part about it, that ain't masculine though. It's really not though, to be honest with you. It's like the more emotional you get at the sight of whatever, to me, is the less masculine you are.
Got it.
I'm not gonna say it necessarily makes you feminine, but definitely the less masculine it makes you. You know, I like to say these days it makes you less of a man. Instead of saying, oh, that makes you a, you know, and trying to describe certain like what we would deem as like negative characteristics is like, oh, that makes you a girl, or makes you a woman. Instead of saying that, I like to say it makes you less of a man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like a difference.
I like the first idea you had which is it's less masculine than saying it makes you less than a man.
Okay. Yeah, either way, you know, semantics. But yeah, if you like the less masculine, definitely you can go with that.
I think that if you were to tell or communicate that, it being less masculine uh
You say in terms of communicating to a person?
to a person.
Oh no! This is in conversation.
No,
You
no,
can't communicate that to a person.
You can.
Hell no.
You can.
No, I'm
Man,
saying less of a man. That's not something that you communicate to a person.
that's you shouldn't.
Yeah,
You shouldn't
yeah,
communicate like that
Nah,
because that is
we're talking in
yeah,
conversation.
that is definitely
Yeah,
I'll probably fire on you.
yeah.
It's like
You can't talk to other
but
people.
yeah, it definitely just in communication one settles different than the other.
Yeah. Obviously. I mean, in conversations, just like we might be talking about certain aspects of manhood, we be like, in reality, that's some hoe shit. But you're not gonna tell somebody they're a hoe when they're doing it. Like,
once again, you 1,000% can just say you own some motion right now, and if you are, then you gotta accept that, man. You gotta just or be mad about it.
I was about to say, then we're getting back to like I might, but then we get back to that though. You know what I'm saying?
It's some whole shit. Like it is what it is, bro. Like you aren't doing the thing that you and I know is like right. Like we are. You've walking off of the beaten path in the worst ways.
I think it's again getting back to my point. You can have an emotional reaction to, I mean, depending on somebody's addressing you, now somebody just talking to you crazy, like I said, calling you out your name or calling you, oh, a bitch, some shit like that. Yeah, that's one thing. But even just somebody even, basically disagreeing with you or not feeling like your behavior on point, whatever it might be, sometimes that's enough to get people revved up. And like I said, it's an emotional reaction for real, for real. It ain't really hella emotional reactions out of a man that aren't positive. Because there's positive emotional reactions that obviously I kind of define manhood by, That's why you can't just throw all emotion out. But in terms of like negative emotional reactions, outside of like protecting yourself and playing certain games that come in the streets, outside of that, I can't really think of too many scenarios where it is cool, to be honest with you. You know? And I think a lot of times we confuse that with being tough.
Right.
When getting back to my point, like really you a bitch if you can't keep your composure. You can't regulate your emotions,
Right.
Um, and that's the cold part. Like the whole dichotomy of the word bitch, like how now it's gotten so bad to where like most of the time we referring to men. you know, um, that's a whole different topic just in terms of um the evolution of the masculinity of the black male and the evolution of divine femininity of the black woman.
Yeah, so you definitely have to listen to the next episode to see if we talk about that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We could definitely. Would you want to jump on that next time?
That's the topic. Yeah.
Yeah. We definitely can get on that. But yeah, man. Just to wrap him on up, bro. I definitely yeah, man. I think there's a lot there. I think there's a lot there just in terms of us as a community looking at these different situations and kind of looking at it with a different lens. Kind of sometimes being able to even take the positive out of negative sometimes. I feel like that's what we do on a regular as a community, as a people, as a collective. Yeah, bro. Anything you wanna
Love each other, man. Just love each other, love yourself, and yeah, stay melanated.
Yes, sir. We out.